Good morning, good morning. Hopefully this is working. Don't you love when Facebook changes all the settings and you don't know what you're doing? I hope we are finally here. We're going to go check on the page that we are live. So if you are watching us live, hello, welcome. It's Melinda from Scrapbooking on our celebration weekend for our new website. Just logging on my phone to see if it is working, because it's always good if it's working. If you are joining us, pop in a comment to say, whoops, it is working because I can hear myself. Hi Elizabeth, how you going? Running a few minutes late because Facebook have changed settings. I even went and did a test in a test group, went to do it on my page, and the page is completely set up differently, so I didn't know what I was doing. Facebook, please stop changing things. I don't like when things change. I know where things are when I find them. Hi Tabitha, how you going? So this weekend is all about celebrating my new website that I launched on July 1st. It's nearly the end of July now, but we're finally getting to this weekend. Life has been busy. I think I have a few quiet weeks and then a lot of appointments drop in, and yeah, it's always fun when you're trying to be in two places at once. Hi Val, how you going? Why aren't my comments scrolling? That's going to be annoying. I'm going to have to grab my mouse and scroll my comments myself. And that means I'm going to get my mouse covered with paint. Oh well. Everything else is covered with paint, it'll just match. It's a new mouse. Be a nice coloured one for now. Hi Meryl, hi Val, how you going? So I thought we'd start off today with what is easy for me, which is an art journal page. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to do a card and a scrapbook page. I've even printed some photos for a scrapbook page. Semi-organised, if you can say that. Semi-organised. So I thought today, is this dry? No, not yet. Look, that's right. Let's just move that up a bit. I was just gessoing my page and it's not quite dry in the middle. Let's move that up out of the way for a minute. So today I thought we'd play with, make sure it's in live chat mode, Tabitha. How do I do that? I don't know how I do that, Tabitha. I'm not real technical. I don't think we have a live chat mode when we're actually in the livey part of broadcasting. I don't know. That's right. If I miss your comment, I'll occasionally scroll up and look. And I've had to position my monitor. I thought I was all ready to go, and then I realised I had to move my monitor so I could see comments because I haven't done live for a while. So out of practice. Okay. And if I move my screen, my comments... Oh, Facebook, stop changing things. So I have a bit of an idea in my head of how this art journal page will go. Sometimes when I do that, it just turns into something totally different, but I grabbed out a few products to play with. We're either going to play with, I couldn't decide whether I'm going to do black or white. I may colour the white ones. So these are our new cardstock cityscapes, and they're in large and small. These ones have been very popular actually. So we're going to play with some of those. This is going to be sort of a man page because this time I brought out men silhouettes. Hi Tabby, you've never done a Facebook Live. Well, you're no help. I've known one for ages. Oh, terrible. And Facebook, even if you do them regularly, Facebook keep changing stuff. So I've got medium-sized white cardstock men, and I've got little black men. I have to stop calling them that. And what I've also grabbed... Oh, you should see beyond my filming area. It's an absolute mess. I was going to use some of our new July napkins, but I realised there was no manly ones. They're all florals, Alexis. I have to talk to her about that. So I grabbed some napkins from our last release, which was, I don't know when. But these ones are on the website. I will post a picture when I'm finished the art journal page on the Facebook page, and then link all the products in the comments when I'm done. So if you're wanting to find things. And I grabbed this old London A to Z. I thought I might use some of the map pages. So that's enough talking for me and thinking. Let's get started. As I said, I've got an absolute mess beside me, but that's okay. We can have a mess and still be creative. was actually creating with Alexis the last couple of nights. We were doing an online class together, so I had to go rescue half my stuff that was on her table because she decided to pinch it. So all I've done is I have gessoed my page, and it's a bit wet still in the middle. I might have to dry that in just a second. But I've just put a bit of, actually I'll grab it. It's in my book. Sometimes the spines start to come apart, or your material, or like your gesso and that, all leak through the spine. So I grabbed this at Daiso. It's brown paper sticky tape basically, so it's quite thin, and it's really, really sticky. So I stick that down the spine, and then I just have to gesso over it to get rid of the brown colour, unless that's what I want to incorporate into my page. And I might just give this a quick buzz up the top. So while that's still a bit wet, we're just going to go with it. What am I starting with? Starting with some map page. So this weekend, and including Monday, because I won't get around taking the discount off until Monday night, we have 15% off all of our new July stock. Now, the discount doesn't actually appear on the website when you look at them. That appears when you put in the shopping cart. I'm still learning with my website whether I did the discount wrong or whether that's how it happens. I have no idea. But when you put the new for July items, whether it be our new stencils, our new napkins, cardstock, chipboard, it will all become be 15% off till Monday night. So I'm just going to tear up some of this map. I'm thinking, and this is where I get in trouble because I think a bit before my art journal page, I'm thinking one of these will sort of go across the middle, and then I'll sort of have a man here, I'm thinking. So I sort of want to do a collage across here and sort of here in a reverse L shape. I don't want to cover the entire page. That's the idea floating around in my head. We'll see if that works out. Half the time when I start an art journal page, I really don't know what I'm doing. That's my rubbish bin. So I can keep it a little tidy. I sort of start with a few things and then build on it. But we'll see what happens. So I'm sort of going to go... So this is mostly going to be covered up, so probably only need one page of that. Don't even know where I got this old London book from. It's really cool, the matte book. Okay, so I'm going to stick this down with some Liquitex matte medium and a paintbrush. Yes, I did bring paintbrushes over. Actually, I might use my silicone brush because then it's easy to clean. Easy to clean between projects. So because this is quite thin paper, I'm going to stick it down with matte medium, which is quite a liquid medium, so it's quite runny, so it sticks this really nicely, and it dries matte as well. Oops. So just going underneath where I want to stick it down, and then going over the top gives it a good seal in, and then I can do fun stuff over the top of it. Where was this piece going? Oh, I shouldn't have moved them. When I'm doing double pages, I like to take elements over, need some more glue, over both pages, not just have it stop on one side and then pick up on the other side. So how's everyone's weather where they are? It is raining today. Only because I was naughty and forgot to get my washing off the line yesterday, I thought, oh, I'll just leave it one more day. Yep, and it's rained most of the day here, so now it's going to stay for another day or so. It was beautiful yesterday and sunny, and I thought, no, I'll be lazy, I won't go get the washing. I still had to fold the other basket I had, so that'll teach me, won't it? So the silicone brush is really good to spread out your mediums or your glues with. You don't have to clean your paintbrush, you can just wipe it with a baby wipe, but you can get a really thin layer. So I'm just pushing that right into the spine so we get a good contact. And at the moment it's not looking too flash hot with just a few bits of paper around, but we will get there. So I'm not actually going to dry this. What I'm going to do is go in with some napkin because I don't have to dry. Lovely and sunny in Leeton. Oh, can you send some of the sun this way? It's been a bit sunny here lately, but it's also been cold. So you look outside and it looks sunny. You go out and you still need your jumper on. So these napkins, my daughter has, we discovered about 800 napkins when I was loading them on the new website. Oh, my poor website. I had to load nearly 3,000 products one by one on my new website because the way my life goes, nothing is easy, and I could not grab all the information from my old website. Ugh. It's just the way life goes at the moment. Nothing's easy. So when you buy napkins from us or buy them from the shops, they come in what we call 2 or 3 ply. So basically 2 or 3 layers. So you've got to separate the layers because you only want the printed layer. That's what I'm just fussing with the corner at the moment. Some napkins separate really easily, some don't. Usually you can flick at the corner and get them to separate. Sometimes I put a bit of sticky tape, sort of sticky side on the outside of my finger and make a loop and you can sort of grab it. So there's one layer, one white layer coming off. What I tend to do is you can test to see if there's another layer on the napkin, grab book text or grab something, and if you can see it, if you can't see through it, you've got another layer there. So this one's got a second white layer I've got to take off, and I'll show you when I take it off. The second white layer is sometimes a bit more tricky to get off because it's stuck a bit, sort of stuck on there a bit firmer. And of course I had to pick one of the napkins that doesn't like to come apart, but usually if you tease the corner you can get it apart. I am going to tear this one up anyway, so if I tear it I'm not peeved. Come on napkin, stop being annoying. Might have to get the sticky tape out. This one's being stubborn. Oh no, I can see it at the corner. By just teasing the corner you can sort of see them separate. Come on. Now I've just got to get my fingers in there. So we take another white layer off. So I keep the white layers and I will stamp on them, or I will use them as texture in the background. Sometimes you get a slight impression. That one's got a very faint impression. So now if we go back to our book page, you should be able to put the napkin on. And actually, I don't know whether you're going to see it on screen. You can actually see the book text through the napkin. So when this napkin goes on, it's actually where the white is going to sort of disappear, and you'll only see the black bits. So the best way to do napkins is just tear them instead of cutting them, because I just want some random bits. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap some over our map and some on the page. So again, I'm going to use the same glue, the liquid matte gel, to stick it down. Find if your glue is too thick with the napkin, it doesn't stick the napkin real well and you can tear it. So my rule is to remembering what glue to put with what paper size is, or paper thickness is. Thin paper, thin runny glue, and I don't have glue under there. Let's shove some glue up under there. I missed that bit. So thin paper, thin glue. Thicker paper, thicker gel medium. So it's a good way to remember it. So you'll see this. So again, I'm putting some on the bottom and then I'm going over the top. When I'm going over the top, because this is in the background, I don't mind if I tear it, but I'm starting in the middle. I'll put a bit more glue out here with my silicone brush and sort of brushing out. And you don't want to keep going over and over and over it, because when a napkin gets wet, it gets very, very, very fragile. God, where are my words today? So as you can see, you can still see some of the map underneath it, and you can see some of the napkin more on the white bit. So here I'm going to start building up my layers. I like this napkin with the sort of triangles sploshed paint. So napkins are a great way to add colour to your background. So Alexis loves to sell them on the website, and she even loves it even better when she gets a napkin only order. She gets those quite often. It's so funny. So I say to her, couldn't the customer buy just one little bit of chipboard just for mum? And she goes, haha, no, they just wanted my napkins. So she gets quite chuffed, and she gets to spend all the profits from her napkins. She learnt the word profit way too quickly, my daughter did. So I'm just going to go down, up, I don't know. No, I don't want that to be a straight line. Now we'll stick that in there. So always working from the centre and coming out. It's best to have a lot of matte medium on your brush or on your silicone tool so it sort of runs or glides very nicely. Whoops, and that was a little bit that just come off, that's okay. I'm a bit more careful if the napkin is a bit more of a focal image, but this is just some in the background, so I'm not really concerned that I just tore a little bit. Let's add some triangles as well. So I think this one's only a 2-ply napkin. So let's see if we can get this one off nice and quick. Sometimes the napkins play nice, sometimes they're not nice at all to separate. Come on, napkin. Sorry if I'm out of camera, I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. Gotcha. So this one only has one napkin on it. One ply, so this must have been what they call a 2-ply or a 2-layer napkin. Hi Victoria, how you going? So I'm just going to tear this one up and add some of this one as well. Well, that was good tearing, wasn't it? Sometimes the napkins will tear in one good way, sometimes they won't. I'm not really mind which sort of shapes I get, I just pull it. If you want a specific shape out of your napkin, you can get a wet paintbrush with water and sort of trace around a little bit of the piece you want and gently separate it. I do that more if I'm using it as a focal image. Background, I just rip it and see what I end up with. Where are we going to put some down here? So I'm building up my layers and sort of connecting them all. I'm not having stuff floating, floating just off on its own now that we're going. So I'm going to keep building this sort of backward L cluster. So Jane, it's overcast, drizzly and cold here in the Blue Mountains. Yeah, it was raining this morning here in Bendigo, and probably going to rain on and off all day. It's been so cold overnight, I even got my hot water bottle out the other night. It was supposed to be -2 overnight, and it's like, geez, that's a bit cold. I just realised I stuck my triangles the wrong way. Not that it really matters, but I wanted my triangles all to go the same way because I'm just being a bit like that today. Sometimes I like my shapes, my triangles all to go sort of the wrong way. Well, now they're upside down. Okay, forget what I just said. We're not having our triangles go all the one way. Oh God, some days I wonder. Some days I should be not let near an art journal page. Seriously. Just making sure that's all sealed down. So when I add my paint with and do some stenciling, it's got a nice layer of gel medium on it. I'm just going to give that a bit of a dry. Great thing about a silicone brush is you can just wipe off. If I can find my baby wipes on my desk, you can just wipe off paint or gel medium. As you can tell, I don't wipe it really well, and it's good to go again. Love the silicone brushes, they're so easy to use. Give this a bit of a dry. Oh, Tabitha, -2 is a bit cold for you? Glad I'm not out in -2. But yeah, we get down to sometimes Bendigo ranges from -2 to -5. -5 is a bit more on the unusual side in winter, to about 40, sometimes 45 in summer. So we go from freezing cold to blooming hot. So I don't need to dry this completely because I'm going to put some paint over the top with a really thin layer of glue, so it will dry really quickly anyway. Oh Val, you love the silicone brushes. Yeah, I've got quite a few different sizes now. I just love them. Anything to make cleanup easy, because I hate cleaning up stuff. And I apologise if I sniffle. I've actually got my heater turned off at the moment because A, it's not very efficient and chews the power, and B, it makes a bit of noise. What I'm going to do is, this is a bit bright for me at the moment, so I'm going to add a bit of gesso just to knock back a bit of the colour, make it a bit more neutral, but I'm just wondering if I add a bit of washi tape first. Yes, let's do that. I'm on a mission to use up my washi tape, so you may see it in lots of layouts. So I just grabbed some black and white. Sort of going to keep this layout to sort of black and white and maybe bring in some earthy tones, maybe a bit of blue, I don't know. So with washi tape, it's a low tack adhesive, and I have several rolls, and if Alexis was in the background, she would be yelling that I have quite a few rolls. Hi Faye, how you going? Where do I buy my silicone brushes from? Hillbilly Scrapping usually sells them. Depends whether she's got any in stock. Give me 2 seconds. And I'll see if she's got any in stock. She could certainly order them in. That's where I buy most of my stuff from. I think this blue one I actually got from Riot Art and Craft many years ago, but I don't know whether they actually... Riot Art and Craft are very hit and miss with stuff. They either have it or they don't. Can't spell silicone. S-I-L-I-C-O-N-E. Here we go. Oh, Jen does have some in stock. Ooh, she's got 2 different sizes. Hang on, I'll grab this link. So Hillbilly Scrapping, for anyone that's new to me, is Jen from Hillbilly Scrapping. She's in Swan Hill. Her and I do a lot of work together. I come and teach at her retreats, and we've got a virtual retreat coming up in 2 weeks, and we've got an in-person retreat coming up in September. There's a link to Hillbilly Scrapping, and she's got a couple of the silicone brushes in stock. They're a different colour to mine, but all silicone brushes are the same. Hang on, what did I do? Where'd that comment go? Oh no. They're just coming up in different orders. So Jen is fantastic, and she posts all over the place, Jen does. Don't even know what words are on this washi tape. With my washi tape, I always add extra glue because I just don't trust its adhesive. It is a low tack adhesive, so if you're putting it on, say just paper in like a planner or just on regular paper, the stickiness of it is probably really good, but my washi tape is also quite old, so some of it has lost its stick. Washi tape does have a shelf life, so I'm just adding again a bit of the matte gel medium with my finger because it didn't take long for my fingers to get in the mix of the art journal. That's all right, Elizabeth. It's sometimes I watch a lot of overseas YouTubers, and I should stop because I see a lot of stuff they have and then can't get it in Australia and get really frustrated if it's a tool or a particular thing. So it's nice to be able to see something and then find out where to buy it from. If you do go order from Hillbilly Scrapping, tell her Mel sent ya. Make her busy, make her do some work. She was supposed to be watching. She might be lurking and not commenting. Hi Jen, if you're watching. I'm going up to Jen's house in a couple of weeks for the virtual retreat. That'll be so much fun. So the virtual retreats are a lot like what I'm doing today. It's all hosted on Facebook, in a Facebook group. We have a bunch of teachers come in over the 3 days, teach you a bunch of stuff, and it is a bunch of fun. Too many word bunches. So I've got 3 bits of washi tape with some words. Let's go with some of this one. Even though this one is thick, it never tears off properly. Oh, maybe it's going to... Oh, it is going to tear off nicely today. Maybe it's colder. That's why my washi tape is behaving. So the reason I'm putting my washi tape on before I gesso is I want to calm a bit of the colour out of it as well, knock it back a bit into the background. So I'm going to overlap. See, this one I just tore in half. I didn't even know where these washi tapes are from, so yeah, they're a little old. I'm determined this year to get in my stash and use stuff. It doesn't stop me from buying. Oh, Elizabeth, you're doing the retreat. Oh, cool. The retreats are lots of fun. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't attend Paperific this year. But we might be doing some fun stuff online that weekend. Due to family reasons, I had to pull out of Paperific this year. Just stuff with my daughter going on. I just couldn't make it all work. Maybe next year. You never know. It's just... Life's got complicated, I'll put it that way, without going into too much stuff. It just takes a lot more planning and stuff to get to events now, and it's... all my ducks didn't fall into a row. And the lady I usually do the shows with the last few years went and hurt her back, which was not very good. So she wasn't someone I could ring up and say, come and do the show with me, because she's not in a good way at the moment. But I had just sent, if you are going to Paperific, I'll let the cat out of the bag, you were going to find out about this next week. I have just sent down 50 little gift packages to go in Naomi's, what does she call them? Prize patrols. So she draws prizes throughout the 3 days. So you never know, if you do go to Paperific, which is a 3-day craft show in Melbourne at Flemington Racecourse this year, and you win a prize patrol bag, and she has different ways you can win them. Sometimes it's the first out the door 5 minutes before we're closing to encourage you to leave. That's always a good way to get a prize. So you may find some of my goodies and some special things in your prize patrol bags. I'm a bit disappointed I can't go. I've been doing Paperific for years and years, but oh well. It's been an interesting few years. There we go. So just joining the washi tape up together. And I believe there's another craft show in Geelong this weekend that we have done previously too. So I miss the in-person shows. I miss catching up with all the customers and doing that. Yeah, prize patrols are fantastic. I think I've been doing Paperific for 10 years. I've had my, maybe longer. How long have I had my laser machine? How old's my daughter? Oh wow, Alexis will turn 15 this year, so that must mean I've had my laser machine 14 years. I've got a 15-year-old? How did that happen? Ugh, I don't know. Children grow up way too quick. Can't believe she's 15. Let me dry that a little, and then we're going to put a little bit of gesso over the top. Oh God, has it been half an hour already and I've only put some stuff in my background? That's right, just going to dry this off a little, and I'm going to put a little bit of gesso over the top. So it can be still a little tacky when I put gesso on the top. It doesn't have to be completely dry. You can sort of, if you feel it with your fingers, you'll feel it to be cold, and if it feels cold, it's still wet. I'll give it a bit of a dry to the back. This is a lower heat tool. This is one of the Tim Holtz ones. So it does take a little bit longer to dry, but the advantage of it doesn't blast in your ears. Picture pages on Geelong. Oh, that's the one that was on Geelong this weekend. Yes, I couldn't make that one either this year, unfortunately. Never know where I pop up next year. What am I doing? Gesso. Looking, and it's staring right in front of me. So I've just got some gesso in a bolognese jar that I nearly dropped. I'm going to do this one with a paintbrush. Which one? This one? This paintbrush. So when my gesso gets quite low in its big jar, I tend to put it into Vegemite jars or other jars, just so there's not so much air in the pot, so it doesn't dry out so much. So I keep I need some water. Oh no, I did bring water over. So I keep moving it from one container to a smaller container, because I find if your jar gets under half full and it's got half air and half product, it dries out a lot quicker. So if you take the effort to move it into a smaller jar, you're taking away that air and moisture from like airspace in the jar, and your product will last a lot longer. Except don't do what I did and put black gesso in a Vegemite jar, because it looks like Vegemite. So just watering down the gesso. This is quite a translucent gesso anyway, but just adding a bit more water to knock a little bit of this background back. So it's there, but it's not, what is that? Oh, that's the napkin. So it's there, but it's not too bright. Oh, seriously, words today. This might be a fun weekend. By Sunday I won't be able to talk at all. So you can still see the designs, it's just less prominent. And if I put too much on, I can always take it off with a baby wipe. So I'm just dipping my brush in, just the tip. I'm not getting much gesso on my brush at all. Oh, seriously. Can't talk today. And we're going to come in with one of our new stencils and put some stenciling over the top. So a lot of people, when they start art journaling, go, why put all this in the background and cover it up? A, it's fun to do, and B, I don't know what parts are going to be seen later on. So it took me a while when I first started to art journal and do mixed media. I had the same thought. Why put all this stuff in the background and cover 90% of it up? Because I really don't know what bits are going to be seen as we go along. So this should only take a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes to dry, because it's very thin layer. So I can sort of see where it's drying, it's going a bit matte. I'm going to bring some colour into it in just a minute. So I was just checking something on my phone, it come up again. The video with notifications nearly finished. That side looks pretty good, just this side needs a little bit more. Now decisions, what stencil am I going to use? So I've got a bag of all of our new ones for July. Trying to keep them in a bag so I can use them in the next couple of months. Oops. Don't want those ones, don't want that one. Oh, that shouldn't be in there. Don't want that one, maybe that one. Maybe that one. Not those ones, not my big faces. Use those another day. Not trees, maybe. Pull trees out. I don't know. This is me being indecisive. That one, that one, that one, and maybe this one. Put all those back in the bag and put them back there. So my stencils are well loved, so they are a bit dirty. That's okay. Sorry, just dragging my book down a bit. Okay. Oh, I said not those three and I left them out. Let's put them away. Oops. Oh, I do like the idea of using triangles and the triangles in the background. That'd be fun. Let's start off with the... I wonder if we do some reverse stenciling with the triangles. What are we going to do that in? What I mean by reverse stenciling is usually you pop your stencil on your page and you put your product through it. Reverse stenciling is when you put a big blob of paint on your page and you actually get a baby wipe and wipe through the stencil, which is kind of cool. Oh, those stencils look so good on your desk, Marilyn. They keep getting buried on my desk. Trying to come up with something different with, and I tried bigger stencils because I like to work with bigger stencils. So I'm hoping to, with my new website, this is my idea. Whether this changes, I have no idea. I'm hoping to do a product release every 3 months. So we did one in July, so our next one is due in July, August, September, October. So every 3 months we'll do a larger release, and then for the next 3 months you'll see lots of those products used and incorporated in lives and in classes and in photos on the Facebook page to sort of show you how to use them. And I'm looking at getting some other people to do some work for me, because some like design work again. I just need to get organised to organise it. Organised to organise it. That's terrible, isn't it? What are we going to do? No, that's olive. Not that one. Gilt. So we're going to use some Dina Wakley paint. So this reverse stenciling works better when you've got stencils with a lot of laciness as opposed to a lot of stencil here. This one works okay, like this area down here where it's all cut out, but these big bits here of stencil don't work so well because you're leaving a lot of product or a lot of paint. You'll see that in a minute. I've got to get a baby wipe ready. I've got one ready. So when you go to show this in a class, some people go, oh, what are you doing? So you put some paint out and blob it around, and people go, ah, what are you doing? You're covering it all up. And of course my fingers get covered in paint. So then while the paint is still wet, now this only works if you're doing it over gesso or over matte gel medium, or if you do this on raw paper it doesn't work so well. And then we grab our baby wipe and keep turning our baby wipe around, and sorry if the table's shaking, and we wipe through the baby wipe. And basically what's left is actually the shape of the stencil. Now that is a bit hard to see. I know you can sort of see it. So it's quite subtle, but it's there. It'll allow me to do some pen work. And I'm going to do a little bit over here and maybe a little bit didn't go as dark as I wanted, but that's okay. We will work with it. Wasn't the best example of reverse stenciling, but I didn't want to go in with black, and I was umming and ahhing what colour to go in with, because you'll be able to, you can see some of the pattern of that tissue paper and the napkin and the washi tape and the map under where that stenciling is. Still a bit wet. Let's go and do a little bit over. What did I have in my hand? My paint? Did I put? Oh no, that one. Gilt. Just to keep it in the same, we'll put a little bit here. So I like the Dina Wakley paints when I do this because it is a heavy body paint, so it's a bit more opaque. Oh, that's the wrong colour. That's penny. Oh, seriously. I wanted the gold, not the bronze. First mistake of the day. Where did I throw? I just had that paint in my hand. Jesus, does anyone else's desk eat things? I thought it was that colour. No, it was gilt I used. It's my silly eyesight that can't tell my paint colours. I'll put this over here. And hopefully this baby wipe's still got enough to soak it up. Probably see the design a bit better over here because I've gone up the top. So it doesn't take 100% of the paint off, but it takes enough off. And the darker the colour that you use, like black, it looks really, really cool, but I didn't want to go in with black just yet. I've got paint everywhere. No surprise. Don't you love it when you're live on camera and you pick the wrong colour and it doesn't work as well? Actually, it looks better through the camera. That's funny. I like the texture it's actually left. I'm wondering if you can see that in the camera. Where the paint is, like here where the triangle is, it's actually left a bit of texture when I pulled the stencil up, which is a bit cool. I often pick the wrong colours, put it on, and then go, oh my god, but eventually the page comes together. Now I've got gold fingers. Okay. Let's use the same stencil and do a bit of stenciling through it to continue the pattern with. Do I want to go black? I'm not really a grey, but I don't have a dark grey, so let's make a dark grey. Put a bit of black on our glass mat. I love my new glass mat. So much easier to clean up. Yeah, Myra, it's a new idea to try, and it sort of gives you a second look for your stencil, which is fun. I do it a lot. Just got to remember that the more holy your stencil, the better, if that makes sense. What am I looking for? A sponge. One thing I didn't grab. 1 second. Some makeup sponges. I like stenciling with makeup sponges. And I tend to be really lazy and not wash them, let the paint dry on the tip, and then just slice it off, and then they get really small. So I'm going to mix up some grey, so a little bit of black into my white, trying not to make the table jiggle. And I want to do just a bit up here. Don't particularly want to do a full triangle sometimes. I don't mind if I've got like half triangles. Oh, I'm liking that. Put a little bit down here. That was sort of the look I was going for with the gold, but that's alright. It's never a mistake in art journaling, is it? You just keep going and throw some more stuff at it and hopefully it works out. Doing that the other night when I was crafting with my daughter. I was trying to stick flowers down. I had them all set up, then I went and stuck them down in the wrong order and forgot something. I was like, oh, I was having one of those nights. That's alright. So I'm sort of doing it in 3 spots, visual triangle thing that everyone talks about. Oh, I'm liking that stencil. I actually haven't used the triangle stencil much. Now, I want to use the black paint with a smaller stencil to add, oh, let's use our, I think it's our checker plate stencil. So I'm not going to wash my sponge. I'm just going to pick up some more black and bring a bit more darkness into it. So when I'm sponging through stencils, as I tend to do it automatically. Oh, nearly got paint on my face. I pick up paint and then I go to a separate spot on my glass mat or on a piece of paper and dab off. And you want to dab off most of the paint and work it into the sponge. You don't want to have a big blob up on your sponge, because then it will leak under your stencil and you'll get blobs. So you'll think that there's not much paint in your sponge, but it's amazing how much they hold. And it doesn't matter if you're using a makeup sponge or one of those Tim Holtz handly things, blending tools, you do the same thing. You pick up your paint and then dab most of it off. And it's amazing how much paint is held in your sponge. I'm liking that. Oh, I like the checker plate stencil. As I said, a few of these stencils I haven't even played with yet. Okay, we'll give that a little bit of a dry. I have got now a big blob of black paint I have to do something with before I put something in it. I might grab out my cardboard cutouts or cardstock cutouts and have a play around with positioning to see what else I want to do. But let me get rid of that black paint first. Hang on. That is... I'm just going to pop this art journal... Oh my god, if you could see beyond my desk, beyond my filming area, there is stuff everywhere. Just going to grab a new journal and get rid of this black paint. Oh, getting a sneak peek of stuff. So this is just an altered book and I'm just looking for a page that, ideally a page I've gessoed, there we go. And I'm just going to grab this one and just use up that black and grey paint. And I've probably not sponged that out enough, so I've probably got blobs under there. You do as you're told on my Facebook lives, don't do as I do. But yeah, look. See, that's what you get when you don't sponge off your sponge. Dab off your sponge. Especially with a fine stencil. Why are you supposing the stencils look good? It's actually funny. Sometimes I make things on the computer and cut them out on the laser machine and think they're going to work in a certain way, and they don't. And it's, yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I still get a buzz when people buy my stencils. As I said, I've had my laser machine. Yeah, that's a big blob too. I've had my laser machine 14 years, and I still get a buzz when people buy my stuff and think that they like the designs, especially sometimes when I make weirder stuff. I like weird and wonderful stuff. So sometimes the weirder stuff sells. Something I think won't sell, and think, oh yeah, maybe people won't like it, that's the one that sells out. I'll put a big one up here. So I'm just starting another art journal page. I tend to do this when I put too much paint out. Grab another journal and start building up a page. I'm trying to use up a few of my journals at the moment and build on these pages I've done over the past little while and use the pages up. They make quick pages. Or sometimes I do it on a piece of paper as well. So that's the start of another page. I do like that stencil. That's a really cool stencil. Weird is good, yes. I like weird. I love Halloween and weird stuff and just out of the box usual stuff. And this is very not me, this page. I'm usually like bright colours, and the more colours the better. But Jen from Hillbilly Scraping is a bad influence on me and sort of getting me more into steampunk stuff and colours, and yeah, she's a bad influence. Okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to go white or are we going to go black? I think we're going to go black. Are we going to go big or are we going to go small? I think we're going to go big. So I'm just going to play... That's a bit loud. So I'm just going to play around with these. So this particular one we just have to cut up into pieces. My book is dry. So these connecting lines here are just basically makes it easier for me to pick it up out of the machine. I need a baby wipe to clean up this stuff. Otherwise I'm going to stick something in it. More than likely my hand. Awesomeness of working on a glass mat is so easy to clean. Cleans up really well. I love my glass mat. So now I think I like this one. So these connector lines I'm just going to snip in between, and then I'm going to clean them up. So any designs you see like that have weird lines connecting them, it's basically just so I can pick up one thing out of the machine instead of lots of them, and it's easier for me. So I'm just snipping off these connector lines, and I usually make them where they're straight, so they're really easy to snip off. Occasionally I've had to put them on curly bits, but I try not to. They look like fat antennas on top of the screen, don't they? Oh, Tabby, the steampunk is awesome. Oh, I did a page when I was up with Jen last time, and yes, now I've got 2 lots of stamps she has to try to find me that I really liked in her stash that are steampunk related. I've always admired it, but this sort of colouring doesn't make my heart happy, and doesn't make, like, I like it and I do it, but it's the more colours of the rainbow the better on a page. Actually, I like that there. Let's get these people out. So our cardstock is cut from, if it's black, it's cut from 200 GSM cardstock. If it's white, it's cut from, at the moment, the Artie Mixed Media cardstock. I haven't found a black thicker cardstock, but in saying that, the black ones you'll probably stick straight on your page. The white ones I do from Mixed Media cardstock, so you can do stuff to them. Do stuff? You can add product to them. Oh, God. Sometimes if you want to use the white ones completely white, you may have to put a coat of white gesso or a coat of white paint on them, just because they are laser cut, so a laser burns things. It's actually, I must film it a bit and put a clip up on the Facebook page because it's fascinating to watch. So sometimes you get a little bit of brown marking. You'll see on the back you'll get a bit more brown marking. Now if you want to reverse your shape, you just have to cover it with gesso or white paint. Most of the time I paint them anyway, so I think he's going to go like something like there. I actually like that going across the middle. I think we need to add excuse me, add a bit more stamping and a bit more in the background. I want to sort of leave this sort of space and this bit of space as space, which again I usually don't do. I usually don't leave space on my pages. I'm very not myself today, which is interesting. What was I going to say? I'm going to do it a bit more stenciling, maybe with some ink so it's a bit more softer in the background. What am I going to do with him? What am I going to colour him? Just looking at inks I grabbed. Oh, I did grab. Oh, where did I put it? I'm sure I grabbed it. Oh, I can't see for looking at the moment. I'm sure I grabbed it and brought it over. Last time I was up at the Hillbilly scrapping shop, I bought some of these new neon, maybe the blue, neon Tim Holtz embossing powders, and ooh, they look really nice. So maybe I'll use the blue. This one's just a white one. I won't use him on that. I think I'll bring a bit of blue in, so maybe I'll bring a bit of blue into the background. Maybe cornflower blue. I want like a, not a blue, but a, like a, I don't know, grey blue. I don't want a blue like this. I don't want a bright blue. Then again, that's a bright blue. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Being indecisive now. That's terrible. So I think that's going to go there, but I think I'm going to stick it last. I'm going to work on my background a bit more. I often bring my focal elements onto my page and look at them and then take them off and then bring them back and get an idea of where they're going to go. So I'm going to grab some of the smaller stencils again. I like this diamond one. This is really cool, but this was annoying to cut and poke. Because big stencils like this, funny story about stencils, I can get them and sort of flick them and all the little bits in the middle fly around the room and they come out. Went to flick this one, I had to sit there and poke every single little hole. So whose silly idea was it to design that stencil? Should see my floor after I pack shapes. It looks like snow when I do stencils. It's so funny. So just using a, I think this is a not BRT, wrong one. Paper Rose blending brush. Hillbilly Scrapping Cell is as well. So until I discovered blending brushes like this, I never used to use my ink pads, a lot. And I just love the effect you get with the blending brushes through the ink pad. So I'm just using an archival ink. I could be using a oxide or like a Tim Holtz regular ink pad, but I tend to like to use archival inks because A, they're archival, and I don't know what I'm going to put on top of this. Oh, denim colour, yeah. Oh, actually what I need to buy is that new Tim Holtz colour, the Marin something. Can't remember the name of it. But that looks really cool. Oops. So the reason I like archival is I don't know what sort of wet media I'm going to put over the top. If I do use an oxide or that, I've got to be a bit careful of what I do next. If it's archival, I can just throw anything at the page. Because half the time when I'm building an art journal page, I really don't know where it's going until it's sort of got there. So for this art journal page, I knew I wanted to use the man and I knew I wanted to use the cityscape and my new stencils, and that was about all I had in my head before I started the live. I find if I try to I can't talk today. If I try to pre-plan stuff too much and I have like an image of a completed page in my head and it doesn't go to plan or it doesn't work out that way, I get a bit frustrated. But if I don't really have an idea, then I like it at the end. or I don't like it. But I'm having fun, so that doesn't matter. Jeez, I've been going an hour. God, I can waffle, can't I, as Hillbilly says. That was not where I had that bit, was it? No, I think I had... So the black ones are reversible as well. I think I had it there. I don't like this down here. I need to do something to this. And I want to colour my person to see what... Now, the thing is, do I want to put him pattern on him or do I want him solid? Because if I put pattern on him, he might disappear. Like into the background. Or do I want him to stand out more? This, I'm not liking. What am I going to do to that? A little bit of that with the ink. What colour ink did I use? This one. Actually, I might bring... That was cornflower blue, watering can. Maybe I'll bring a bit brighter blue in if I'm going to use the neon. Sorry, talking out loud, talking to myself. It's so quiet here. I usually have the TV going in the background, or I have a YouTube video going in the background when I'm crafting. When I'm doing a live, like, I have no noise in the background. It's just weird. So just cleaning between colours. You don't really have to, but just brushing it onto a baby wipe. So basically nothing comes out. So I just want to soften this edge a bit. It's bugging me. And maybe a bit up here. And I have a problem with knowing, and just put paint in that. I have a problem knowing when to stop on my pages. I'm sure we've all come across that. I'm going to do some white on here to knock it back a bit with the triangles. Some white pen work. There's my lid to that. Okay, now I'm going to... Oops. I love these little archival link pads. You can get so many colours. You don't need to buy the big ones. I've got some of the big ones, but I originally was buying those, and I thought, no, I can just do the little ones. What am I going to do with him? Do I want him? I don't want to make him totally blue, but maybe I'll put some ink on him, and then I'll put some embossing powder on him. Let's get a couple of these. Let's just put my journal up and out of the way for a minute. I'm actually liking that. Oh, that was under my journal to make it flat. Hopefully this, let's get a white bit of paper. Oh, some of this will do. Okay. So I'm going to take the same two blues and just colour him, but not colour him solidly. Give him just a bit of colour. Sorry, seeing me very indecisive now. You should see me when I craft when I'm not live. I'm trying to be better at what we call sticking and plonking, so I don't procrastinate too much and take way too long to make a layout. I may not even use the neon. We'll see what this looks like. So just starting off on the scrap paper I've got. This is from the deli. Every time we order groceries, my daughter has to have cabana, so I keep all the like newsprint paper without newsprint on it and just use it as scrap paper. So just starting up on the paper off the shape and just sort of circling onto the shape. I told you words are not handy today. I don't know what's up. Could be I'm a little sleep deprived. We won't tell stories on Alexis, will we? Had me up crafting till the wee hours. So I'm wanting to sort of get it on the edge, but not... I'll turn that around. Get it coming into him, but sort of leave a bit of whiteness on him and see what it looks like on our page. And bonus, I've got a man on a bit of paper to use. Second thoughts, I don't know whether I'm going to use that embossing powder. I'm allowed to change my mind, aren't I, constantly? I'm going to pick my journal up again. Oops. Okay. I wonder if that's dry enough to do pen work. Let's find out if it's going to wreck my pen. Let's see if I can find, and if Alexis hasn't run away with my white pen. Oh, she has too. Oh, children. Just to stay out of my stash. I've started to keep all my current pens that are open, because I lose them all the time. And she's taken off with my thin white pen. But this should work. Trying to keep all my open Posca paint pens in a pencil case so I don't lose them and don't go open new ones when I can't find my pen. What is this computer doing? Okay, so I'm going to put some, ideally I'd probably wait a bit longer, but we're going to see if this will work. I'm a very impatient crafter and I wreck way too many gel pens and way too many Posca paint pens because I'm too impatient to wait, and I apologise if my head gets in the way. What are you putting on my screen, computer? I don't want to do a survey. I'm doing something else, silly computer. So I apologise if my head gets in the way. For anyone that's new, I do have low vision. I can't even drive a car, which tells you how sucky my vision is. So sometimes to do fine line work with this, I have to get my nose quite close to the page. I'm just doing sketchy lines. See how it's knocking it back at the moment? That's, to me, standing out too much into the foreground. So by putting a little white line around it just here, see if I can pick it up without. Oops, so you can see I've done one side, not the other side. By putting a sketchy little white line around, it's sort of pushing it back a bit and not making it sort of stand out so much. That makes sense. So my rule on a page is if I have something that's too black, I'll add a white line to it. And if I've got something that's a little white and I want it to stand out a bit more, I'll add a bit more of a black line around it. So I'm going to... So I'm just being quite loose in my lines, coming in just probably 1/2 mil inside the triangle, so there's a little bit of border showing. But my lines are quite sketchy and quite not perfect. If I try to get them perfect, then it sucks, so then I don't like it, so I deliberately do them sketchy and sometimes go over them 2 or 3 times to make it look good. And whatever I do on, I tend to, if I do the white outlining on that pattern, everywhere I've got that pattern, I tend to do the white outlining. Does that make sense? Of course it does. Clear as mud, right? Hang on. I'm just going to move my book around. Oh, hi, Rosemary. That's all right. You'll be able to go back and re-watch it. I'm actually impressed on how it's come out too. I had a bit of an idea of how I wanted it to go. Been able to practice doing lives. I thought I'd better practice a bit more before I go and do lives at the Hillbilly Retreat. This year's just been a shocker, just thing after thing after thing, and it's... I thought, right, the first weekend of July I'll do my celebration for my new website, but we're now nearly the end of July and we're getting to it. Oh, it's just... life's nuts at the moment. And as soon as I plan something, something else crops up. I swear someone looks in my diary and goes, right, she's got an appointment in Bendigo that day. Let's give her an appointment for a doctor's appointment in Melbourne, an hour apart on the same day. Seriously, peoples. Then you go to change doctor's appointments and they're a pain in the butt to try to change. So it's, all I do lately is just look at my diary and go, oh my God, and things just, don't happen. I don't know when anyone else is like that this year. It's just crazy. I am hoping to get back into regular lives. I'd love to set a regular day and time. But I'm hoping to do at least a live or a pre-recorded video a couple of times a month for you guys to to see the products in action, and hoping to get a few more ladies to do some, or what they call a design team, a few more ladies playing with my products and sharing, which will be good. Now, what does it need? Are we going to commit and are we going to stick? I think we're going to stick the building down and commit. I'm in love with this glue at the moment. This one from, it's by an Australian company, obviously made in China because everything is, I believe. But it's by an Australian company. I get it from Hillbilly Scrapping, and it comes with this, or you buy an additional little metal tip and a pin, and it has a really fine tip on it. And I tend to lose my pins, so let me find a sponge. I tend to throw my pin into a sponge. Now, I want to glue this down. The only thing I find with this glue is it dries really quickly, which is good. But gluing a big piece like this on, I don't have to get glue everywhere. Actually, we might do 2 buildings at once. But it gives you a nice... Oh, bollocks! Nearly swore. Gives you a nice line of glue. Where do I have that? Here? Here. And it dries clear, and I tend to find if my glue oozes out, I can grab a dry baby wipe and sort of buff off the glue before it really dries. It's really good glue. And I use it for chipboard, I use it for cardstock, I use it for just about anything that I want to stick on top. So as you can see, I'm not putting glue everywhere. I'm sort of picking the thickest parts of the design. Like, I don't bother getting glue between all the windows. The thickest part of the design, and then squish it down. And I'm doing it in sections because I find this glue dries really, really quickly. I'm going to give it a good press down because it's quite lumpy under the cityscape. So I will be producing this cityscape in a stencil. We do have on the website it in the small design at the moment. I just ran out of time to do it in a bigger design. But in saying that, if you see this on the website and go, oh, that'd look really cool as a stencil, you can always email me and go, can I have the cityscape in a stencil? Or can I have something cut out of cardstock instead of chipboard? Basically, once we've got the design, we can cut it out of chipboard, stencil, cardstock, black or white. It doesn't matter. I am doing more of a range of black and white on the website. It's just all the sort of older designs are just cut when customers request them. The worst I can say is no if you request something. So what's the harm in asking? Not much. I'm just wondering if I need him to stand on something. He seems to be floating. Actually, I wonder if I've got it in here or something similar. Is this my Stabilo oil pencil? Oh, it is. So basically what a Stabilo oil pencil is, it's a water-soluble, highly pigmented graphite pencil. Goes on like a pencil. I just want to do like a shadow under the building, and you activate it with water. So you scribble on it like a normal pencil. Scribble on it like a normal pencil, as opposed to an abnormal pencil. Oh god. So it's great for outlining and adding shadows. And then we're just going to grab a thin, do I have one? Most of my paintbrushes are sitting over on my sink. I do have a thin paintbrush. It's one thing I've got to buy is more paintbrushes. And you can go in with a bit of water, and I've got very little water on my brush, and I'm just sort of giving it a shadow just along the bottom, so it doesn't look like it's floating, sort of grounding it. If you get too much water, you can just... Now I have a problem. Do I watch or shop? That's when you have 2 screens open, Marilyn, and you do both. So we do have, I don't know whether I mentioned, until Monday we have 15% off our new for July products. And there's a bunch in our clearance bin. I am going through and adding more stuff to that quite often. Just bits and pieces that we are changing pack sizes, or we've got little bits left over. So the advantage of this pen is that's still wet. I can go in and add a bit more pencil and then reactivate it. I have to wait for it to dry, which is really good. Just got to watch. This is a very pigmented pencil, so if you put Scribble Lots on and add water, you're going to get a big black blob. Oh, seriously, I hope my words return by 3 p.m. So I will be back at 3 p.m. today doing another art journal page, and tomorrow at 11 a.m. and then at 3 p.m. I'll be back again, because you just can't get enough of me this weekend. And I'll be attempting some cards. Not a confident card maker. I'm about to get a comment from Tabitha telling me off. And I'm going to attempt a art journal page at one of those sessions tomorrow. So one will be cards and one will be art journal pages, using some of our new July stuff. So that will be fun. So just drying that off. It does dry a little lighter, so sometimes you have to go in and do it again. So he's going to sit there. I need some sort of wordy thing on it, but I may do that off camera because I didn't really think about that when I grabbed stuff. And I don't think... Oh, maybe I do. Oh, might not be big enough. Hang on, let me have a lookies. I've got some... What are these? Is that going to be big enough for words? Oh, maybe I can pick some out of there. What's that one? I do have some of these wordy books. That one's... we'll have a look. Some sort of word or quote. I'm thinking down here, but I don't want it to be too big. And then I think I'm just about done. Sometimes I don't know when to stop, and I want to add more stuff, but I think I'm going to be quite restrained today and stop. So this is an Art by Marlene Falling Apart book. This is her, what's this called? It's a sticker sheet book. Sticker BM02. So this one has white in it, and these might not be sort of appropriate to this sort of thing. Oh, actually that might be appropriate. That might work quite well down there actually. Sometimes we break before we get to shine. It's called the glow stick effect, because that sort of looks like glowing, and yeah, let's go with that. Let's not procrastinate. So these are stickers, but I do like to add some of the matte gel to the surface and then put the sticker on and then go over the top with it, just because I'm sticking over matte gel medium, I'm sticking over paint, I'm sticking over... it's not going directly on paper. Does that make sense? And sometimes I cut these quotes in small pieces. Again, these come from Hillbilly Scrapping. You'll hear me say that all the time. That's about all I should... That's the only place I shop at. Terrible. Trying to be good lately and dive into my stash and use a lot of stuff up. But that doesn't stop me. And I'm eyeing off at the moment, and I can't decide what I want, of the new Art by Marlene... What's it called? Back to Nature. Oh, it's all so good, and I'm trying to be good and trying to decide what I really need. And I think I need blooming one of every packet of what she bought out. Hang on. Oh, trying to tear the sticker off where it's not cut. Oh, I like that. So it's there, but it's not. Oh, ah! And I've picked up some of the bloomin' pen, and now my stickers are grey, but that's not a bad thing. The Stabilo oil pencil is water reactive forever, so you've just got to be a little careful. It's usually the last thing you do to your page. Let's dry that off a bit. Let's just wipe the top of that. Then I think we're nearly done. Because I think it's lunchtime, because maybe that's why I can't form words today. Or it could be just me. Dry that off. I just want to outline that a little, and I think I'm going to do it with the Stabilo oil pencil again. because they're looking a little lost at the moment. Oh, I've got to stick my person on and then I'm done. So I will upload some photos of this on the Facebook page. I was going to say in the group, but I'm not in a group today. So you can see some of the detail, and then I will link in the comments all the products that I've used off my site. And if I can find this sticker book on Hillbilly's site, I'll link to her site as well. I don't know, sometimes Art by Marlene brings out stuff and then it doesn't stay around for a long time, it gets discontinued. So I don't know whether that sticker book is part of one of her ranges or part of her essentials that stays around a bit longer. So I'm just putting ever so slightly a bit of water to put a little bit of shadow around the stickers, just to make them pop out a bit. Then I think I'll call this page done. I'm really enjoying getting back into my art. I didn't do a lot the last few months because life and illness I should have forced myself to do it when I was ill, but oh god, I was ill for the first 3 months of the year. Not COVID, can't catch that, but I can catch every other crud going around. Don't know what I had for 3 months, but oh god, it was horrible. Kept going to the doctor, you've got a virus. Oh yeah, duh, I know that. Make me feel better. Oh, it'll go away. So after about the second trip I gave up and just put up with it, and it went away eventually. So I'm just putting a bit more detail in the ends of the stickers. So hence why you didn't see me much at the first half of the year, but hopefully we're going to rectify that. You get sick of me soon. You go, oh god, Melinda's on again. But I am trying to craft a bit more with my products and show you all different ways to use them. Because I find if I see something used, I will then have an idea to buy it. So feel free, if this has inspired you to make a page very similar, even if you don't use any of my products, I'd love to see what you make. Not sure whether you can actually upload to my Facebook page. Facebook and I aren't friends at the moment, so but you can certainly tag, if you put anything up on social media with any of my products in it or inspired by what I've made, tag Scrapbooking&Craft, hashtag that, and then I look for that hashtag a couple of times a week and have a look at what you guys have been up to with my products or inspired by me. So I'm just putting some glue on my man and going to stick him there. He's quite subtle, but that's sort of, I like that effect. So it's very different to what I do, but I am liking it. Anything I don't, is putting this pen back in this tip. I love the fine tip on it, but getting the pin back in is a little a little tricky with someone with low vision. Now, I think he needs a bit of Stabilo all around him, and then I'm nearly done. I lost my pencil. Back in the pencil case. Oh. So I want a little bit, oops, it's not quite dry yet. Just want a little bit around him to make him pop out a bit. So sometimes I use this Stabilo all to shadow. Okay, seriously need some lunch. To shadow all around the shape that I've stuck down like I'm doing at the moment, except I'm not going over the building. Sometimes I'll just do a shadow on the bottom. It just depends on, there's no rules with art journaling, it depends on what I feel like doing. Or what I think the page needs really, not what I feel like doing. So I'm just going in and activating this with a little bit of water. Just see how it makes him just pop out a bit, and it doesn't look like he's stuck on the page even though he is. And we just want to do a bit of shadow. Oh, got on his foot. Oh, didn't want it on his foot. Oh. Want a bit more of a, just so it looks like he's sort of creating a shadow or standing. I want a little bit in there, and I think I want a bit in there. I didn't think I wanted that before, but I think I do now. Just so he pops out a bit. I want a little bit up there. So Stabilo all, it's always add a little more. You can always take it away with, because it's water soluble, I can always dab a baby wipe and take it away. And I sort of try to feather it out so it's not like a black solid line, it's more of a suggestion of a line, if that makes sense. I think I gotta stop. Stopping's good. Yep, stopping. Anyone else got a problem with stopping? I tend to like to throw everything on the page. Okay, I think I'm done. I will leave you guys. Wow, that was an hour and a half. Gee, I procrastinate a bit. I will take some photos of this and pop it up the Facebook page. Thank you very much for spending some of your time with me. Hi Kathy, how you going? No, you're not. Oh, you are late. I'm about to go. But great thing about the Facebook Lives is you can re-watch it. It'll generate into a video and you'll find it in the feed. And I'll put a photo of this up. Hi Joanne, how you going? Bye Tabitha. I'll put a photo of this up and link the products I used. And I'm actually very happy with how that turned out. Considering all I had in my mind before I started was I wanted to use some of my city and a person. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you back at 3 p.m. And there is a sneaky giveaway on the Facebook page. If you scroll through, you might find a sneaky giveaway for today, and there might be one for tomorrow as well. So have a scroll on the Facebook page and see what you can find. Thank you everyone for taking some time out of your day to spend with me, and I will catch up with you at 3 p.m. Bye for now.